What if an entire ancient city suddenly revealed itself after centuries of hiding? A city long buried and forgotten, brought back to light. But the real story began as archaeologists dug deeper into its heart. After years of relentless drought, the mighty Euphrates River dried up, uncovering an artifact that had remained hidden for millennia. How could such a treasure have gone unnoticed for so long? What secrets are buried within its walls? Stretching 1,740 miles from eastern Turkey to the Persian Gulf, the Euphrates River has been the lifeblood of civilizations for millennia. It cradled the Mesopotamian Empire, the beating heart of the Fertile Crescent, where ancient innovations and cultures flourished in what is now modern-day Iraq. The river's journey through Turkey, Syria, and Iraq has carved through diverse landscapes, nourishing lands that once bloomed with life. Babylon, one of history's most powerful cities, rose on the banks of the Euphrates. It was here, over 4,000 years ago, that Hammurabi's empire transformed a small harbor into a mighty capital. But today, the Euphrates faces a dire crisis. Water levels have plummeted to unprecedented lows, with Turkey releasing less than half the agreed-upon flow to Syria. Once fertile and flourishing, parts of the river have turned to dust, leaving the region's future hanging in the balance. The mighty Euphrates, once a symbol of life and power, now struggles against the forces that threaten to turn its rich history into a distant memory. In Syria, dam lakes are drying up, crippling electricity production and reducing power supply to entire regions. The rich farmlands that once lined the river's banks are withering away, and the most basic necessity, safe drinking water, is becoming dangerously scarce. This crisis is sparking severe health concerns, with millions of lives hanging in the balance. But there's an even deeper fear. The ancient river is drying up at an alarming rate. Geologists are baffled and worried, trying to understand the forces driving this terrifying crisis. The United Nations has issued stark warnings about the worsening heat waves in the Mediterranean, with Syria, one of the countries most at risk, seeing its vital Lake Assad caught in this vicious cycle. But the vanishing waters of the Euphrates didn't just leave devastation in their wake, they uncovered something truly extraordinary. As the river receded, it revealed the long-hidden ruins of the ancient Mesopotamian city of Gilgamesh. This incredible discovery has reignited interest and debate among scholars, historians, and curious minds worldwide. For centuries, the legend of Gilgamesh, the mighty king of Uruk, has captivated humanity. His epic tales of heroism and adventure have been passed down through ancient manuscripts and poetry, preserving his legacy across millennia. Yet the exact location of his tomb remained one of history's greatest mysteries. Many believed it had been lost forever. That was until shifting weather patterns caused the once mighty Euphrates to dry up, unexpectedly revealing what had been hidden for ages. As the floodwaters retreated, a team of archaeologists stumbled upon the ruins of a massive structure buried along the riverbank. Further excavations confirmed what they had dared to hope. This was the long-lost tomb of Gilgamesh himself. Could it be that the legendary 17-foot giant has finally been unearthed? Let's journey back to the origins of Gilgamesh, a figure whose story blurs the line between myth and history. According to ancient lore, Gilgamesh was no ordinary ruler. His mother was Ninsun, a goddess known as the Holy Mother and Great Queen, and his father was Lugalbanda, a priest-king famed for his mystical powers. With such divine parentage, it's no wonder that Gilgamesh's reign, as recorded in the Sumerian king list, spanned an astounding 126 years, a lifespan that could only belong to a demigod. In the 26th century BCE, Gilgamesh ruled as the fifth king of Uruk, a position that would see him leave an indelible mark on history. His strength, wisdom, and leadership were so extraordinary that his subjects began to believe he was more than a man. Over time, These beliefs coalesced into the stories that became the Epic of Gilgamesh, one of the oldest and most influential pieces of literature in human history. Even centuries later, Gilgamesh's legacy continued to inspire. King Shugi of Ur, one of Mesopotamia's greatest rulers, claimed Gilgamesh as his brother, enhancing his own prestige by linking himself to this legendary figure. The name Gilgamesh itself, which evolved from Sumerian to Akkadian to Greek, speaks to his enduring heroism, meaning the kinsman is a hero or the old man is a young man, reflecting his timeless and ageless nature. The stories of Gilgamesh depict him as a hero who was deeply intertwined with the gods. In the Descent of Inanna, he is introduced as a god who died and was reborn, and as the brother of Inanna, the goddess of love and war. These tales highlight his heroic deeds, such as when he bravely saved Inanna from a serpent, demon, and Anzu bird that had taken over her sacred tree. Gilgamesh's influence reached far beyond his own time. When archaeologist Austin Henry Layard uncovered the Akkadian translation of the Epic of Gilgamesh in 1849 among the ruins of Ashurbanipal's library in Nineveh, it was a revelation. What was initially a quest to find biblical evidence led to the discovery that many stories in the Bible were rooted in much older Sumerian myths. This epic, once thought to be the oldest and most original story, was itself drawn from ancient oral traditions passed down through generations. Before the discovery of the works of the poet-priestess Enheduanna, the Babylonian writer Sinleki-Unini was believed to be the world's first named author, credited with compiling and refining the Epic of Gilgamesh between 1300–1000 BCE. Gilgamesh's story had been told and retold for centuries before it was finally committed to writing. Drawing from a rich tapestry of Sumerian sources that portrayed him not just as a king, but as a divine hero whose legacy would echo through the ages. But clay tablets from ancient times reveal a striking portrait of Gilgamesh as an underworld judge, placing him alongside legendary Greek figures like Rhadamanthus, Minos, and Aeacus. His journey into the dark realm of Ereshkigal, where he sought to retrieve stolen goods for his friend Enkidu, is a powerful tale from the poem Gilgamesh, Enkidu, and the Netherworld. This story, which builds upon earlier legends such as Inanna and the Hulupu tree, provides a rare glimpse into the afterlife as envisioned by the ancients. Gilgamesh's tale is extraordinary, suggesting he might be one of the few mortals to have witnessed what lies beyond death. Enkidu's journey to the underworld and his subsequent return, if we accept that he survived and shared his vision, further complicates the narrative. The canonical account of this epic, derived from cuneiform tablets discovered by Austin Henry Layard in 1849 and translated by George Smith in 1876, forms the bedrock of modern interpretations. The 11 primary tablets are crucial, but the 12th tablet, often debated, introduces Enkidu as a ghostly figure rather than a companion. This addition has led to confusion, with some interpreting it as Enkidu returning from the underworld to reveal his experiences, despite textual evidence suggesting he was still alive and wrongfully detained. Gilgamesh's quest against death, despite his ultimate failure to achieve immortality, makes him one of literature's earliest epic heroes. His struggle to find meaning in the face of loss resonates deeply with us all, connecting his ancient sorrow to our modern experiences with grief and the search for purpose. The story of Gilgamesh, which was passed down orally for centuries before being written down, has sparked ongoing debate about its origins. Scholars like Samuel Noah Kramer argue that while many elements of the Epic of Gilgamesh trace back to Sumerian roots, the Babylonian versions, especially those by Shinleki-Unini, adapted these tales to fit their own culture and history. This evolution reflects a broader truth. Like other great epics such as the Mahabharata, the Iliad, and the Odyssey, Gilgamesh's story transcends any single civilization or era, capturing timeless aspects of the human condition. Now, every great literary work echoes the culture that birthed it, yet some, like the Epic of Gilgamesh, possess a timeless appeal that transcends their origins. Since its English translation in the 1870s, Gilgamesh has captivated imaginations around the world. The quest for his tomb even sparked excitement in April 2003 when German archaeologists claimed to have found it. Using modern technology, they unearthed garden enclosures and structures from the epic, including what they believed to be Gilgamesh's resting place. Legend has it that after Gilgamesh's death, the Euphrates River split to conceal his tomb beneath its waters. Whether the historical king existed or not becomes secondary when you consider how his legend has evolved and expanded over time. The tale of Gilgamesh's final moments is particularly poignant as he faces the end. The narrator reflects on the transient nature of heroes and sages, likening their lives to the phases of the moon. People will ask, who has ever ruled with might like Gilgamesh? The narrator muses. Without him, the world would be as dark as the month of shadows. Though eternal life eluded him, Gilgamesh's story itself achieved immortality, influencing countless other narratives throughout history. Scholars like Stephen Mitchell argue that Gilgamesh's enduring relevance lies in its profound insights into the human condition. The epic resonates with readers' personal experiences of loss, fear of death, love, and the search for meaning. In today's world, rife with ideological conflicts and crusades, Gilgamesh's story remains strikingly relevant. It portrays a hero who, despite his great strength, is ultimately humbled by the futility of his quest for immortality. His journey illustrates that even the pursuit of meaning can be both enlightening and fraught with struggle. And just when we thought we'd seen it all, a new video has emerged from an excavation site near the Euphrates River, and it's stirring up quite a reaction. What if there are not only giants under the mighty river, but also fallen angels? The footage shows a mysterious tunnel leading to an underground structure with perfectly preserved stairs, still standing strong after all these years. But what's really raising eyebrows is the question of who or what could have built this ancient passageway. Some speculate it's the work of a lost civilization, a relic from a forgotten era. But the locals have a far more unsettling theory. They believe this tunnel is connected to a biblical prophecy, a place where angels are said to be imprisoned. Just listen to the voices coming from this tunnel. Could the eerie sounds in this video be the cries of the four fallen angels said to be trapped beneath the Euphrates River? Or is it the roar of the scorpion-like beast ready to emerge from the bottomless pit described in Revelation 9? This viral video, supposedly showing archaeologists exploring the dry bed of the Euphrates, has sparked intense debate. The man behind the camera claims to have captured the sounds of these imprisoned beings, whether they are fallen angels or something far more monstrous. While it's essential to approach such claims with skepticism, especially when based on a single video, the Bible does reference four angels bound at the Euphrates River, destined to bring devastation upon mankind. Revelation 9:13-15 warns, "Release the four angels who are bound at the great river Euphrates." And the four angels were released to kill a third of mankind. The mention of these angels being bound suggests they are demonic, fallen angels restrained in chains of gloomy darkness, as described in 2 Peter 2:4. Unlike the free, benevolent angels of God, these are Satan's followers, demons awaiting their release. As Ephesians 6:12 reminds us, we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the cosmic powers over this present darkness, against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly places. The Euphrates Valley has long been associated with human wickedness. In Genesis, it's where the first murder took place, near the Garden of Eden. This land saw the rise of the first fighting confederacy and witnessed Nimrod establishing his kingdom. It was here that Babylonian idolatry took root, a legacy that, according to Zechariah 5 and Revelation 18, will face judgment in due time. For Christians worldwide, the Euphrates River has become a focal point of prophecy, a possible key to the end times. Ever since the days of Jesus Christ, believers have tried to predict the time of his second coming, and many now look to the Euphrates as the final piece of the puzzle. In the apocalyptic book of Revelation, the river is of immense importance. Chapter 16 describes it as the route the kings of the east would take on their way to Armageddon. But perhaps more chilling is its mention in chapter 9, where the sixth angel is commanded to release the four angels bound at the great river Euphrates, unleashing devastation on 1/3 of humanity. As if that wasn't enough, the book goes on to describe an army of locusts led by a figure known as Abaddon in Hebrew, Apollyon in Greek, both names meaning destroyer. The weight of these prophecies has left many bracing for what might come, as the Euphrates continues to hold its ominous place in the unfolding story of the end times. Now there are other fascinating discoveries in the region as well. The receding waters of the Euphrates River in Anna, Iraq, have revealed a stunning, hidden treasure of ancient history. Muhammad Jassim and his team of Iraqi archaeologists have uncovered around 80 historical sites that had been submerged since the construction of the Haditha Dam. But that's not all. Over in the Kurdistan region of Iraq, the Department of Antiquities in Duhok has unearthed a 3,400-year-old city, once part of the Mitanni Empire, thanks to the receding waters of the Tigris River basin. This ancient city, with its sprawling palace and several other structures, was surrounded by a massive fence. What's truly astounding is the preservation of the sun-dried mud walls, which have survived being submerged for over 40 years. An earthquake that destroyed the city centuries ago ironically protected it, turning the upper walls into rubble and shielding the lower sections. Among the most remarkable discoveries are 5 ceramic vessels containing more than 100 cuneiform tablets, some still encased in their original clay envelopes. The survival of these unfired clay tablets underwater for so long is almost miraculous. Peter Falsner, an archaeology professor at the University of Tübingen, expressed his amazement at this find. Researchers are now hopeful that these tablets, some possibly containing letters, will shed new light on the ancient city's history and the lives of its inhabitants. This newly uncovered site in Iraq might just be the long-lost city of Zakiku, a thriving hub of the Mitanni Empire that reigned from 1500 to 1350 BCE. This powerful kingdom, founded by the Indo-Iranians, stretched over 600 miles from the Zagros Mountains to the Mediterranean Sea. It was a force to be reckoned with, clashing with Egypt over control of Syria until they reached a truce in 1420 BCE. But the Mitanni's glory didn't last forever. They eventually fell to the Hittites around 1360 BCE, and the Assyrians soon took over the region. Meanwhile, in eastern Turkey, the receding waters of the Kibandam Lake have recently unveiled Hastek Castle, a pre-Christian temple carved into the rock, only accessible by boat. This castle, with its 3 floors and Greek inscriptions on the walls, adds another layer to the rich tapestry of history being revealed as waters dry up. This isn't the first time that receding waters have uncovered ancient secrets. When the Euphrates Dam was established in the 1980s, the Neolithic-era settlement mound of Murraybet was discovered, shedding light on ancient life, from the deification of women to the region's agricultural development. As rivers continue to recede, we can expect more of these submerged treasures to come to light, revealing even more about the rich history of these lands. That's all for today. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching.